Today we'll be taking you through a couple of national dailies. I'll be starting from the Punch newspaper. Some of the headlines are making rounds on the Punch newspaper this morning. Tribunal judgment. APC lampoons Atiku Obi opposition attacks INEC. Also, we have oil theft. Military saved Nigeria from losing 4 billion naira DHQ. Governor pardons over 500 inmates in 8 months. Akeredolu returns now in Ibadan. Ondo Assembly leader. Ogun LG boss slams residents' ultimatum on allocation. We also have from the Punch newspaper, Abiodun congratulates Adiola on victory at tribunal. Insecurity, experts fault defense ministers, call for prayers. Also from the Punch newspaper, we have lawyer, diaspora group, others slam presidential tribunal verdict. All right, and finally from the Punch newspaper, it's difficult to overturn presidential election results in Nigeria. This is coming from Adegborua.
All right, we'll move over to the Vanguard newspaper this morning, and on the Vanguard, some of the latest news here is talking about insecurity. 5 secretary LGs under bandits, terrorist siege. I was security guide. Good education made me president. Tinubu woos Nigerians in India. And we also have this Ogun pays 40% peculiar lands to workers. Nigeria records 1.3 trillion naira trade surplus in quarter 2 2023. Talking about oil theft, Nigeria lost 16.25 trillion naira in 11 years. That's according to Representative Speaker. Troops neutralized 814 terrorist oil thieves, IPOB and ESN elements in 3 months. And of course, more story here on the Vanguard. NSCDC arrests 14 vandals, shorts company over adulterated lubricants. We also have this one. Police arrest 10 suspects over Fourier student's death. And PEPT judgment, Atiku will be head to Supreme Court. And of course, more stories here on the Vanguard this morning. Apologize to your clients. You didn't do a good job. Pandev tells Obi, Atiku's lawyers. And of course, we take 2 more before leaving the paper this morning. VK begins mobilization to throw Atiku Tambuwa out of PDP. PDP is mother of APC orders Atiku boasts. And that's just about it from the Vanguard.
Moving on to The Guardian this morning, police arrest 10 suspects over death of 4-year missing students. We also have NSCDC arrest 14 vandals in FCT, as in the Vanguard as well. Atiku Obi reject PEPC ruling, head for Supreme Court. Repositioning NSITF for effective social security delivery. Now from Lagos, Lagos residents relish rail experience, seek more trips on Blue Line. Ex-commissioner CPS urge OT to end blame game. Still coming from the Guardian newspaper, I beg your pardon. Anambra celebrates hard work, not criminal, says Soludo. And yes, ministers give NIS 2 weeks ultimatum to clear passport backlog. Customs hand over 699.5 million seized hard drugs to NDLEA. Lagos Assembly rejects 2 commissioner nominees, confirms 15 others. And finally, from the Guardian newspaper, troops kill 814 terrorists, arrest 1,903 in 3 months.
All right, over to the Premium Times this morning. There are also a number of headlines there. And the big story here says EU ECOWAS report to Nigerian elections have no judicial value, as according to senior judge. Amor says PEPC judgment, Peter Obi heads to Supreme Court. Court verdict, don't waste your resources going back to Supreme Court. Governor Bello tells Atiku Obi. An updated article rejects presidential election court's judgment, heads to Supreme Court. Wide trade between Nigeria and Finland is low, that's according to the ambassador. And updated presidential election petition court unanimously affirms Tinubu's election. Labour Party Obi Atiku reject presidential court's judgment, head to Supreme Court. And of course, more story here on the Premium Times. And this says 3 months after departure for medical care abroad, Akeredolu returns. And Nigerian Army court marshals 14 officers, 9 soldiers. Lagos Assembly confirms Abayomi Omotosho 13 orders as commissioners reject 2 Nigerian states to experience heavy rainfall on Friday. That's according to NIMET. Governance Fayemi proposes power sharing among political parties. And here we have Nigerian military eliminates 817 terrorists, apprehends 1,326 suspects. That's according to Defense Headquarters. We'll take 2 more and we'll quickly move to another paper. Nigerian power in management and leadership. Tinubu tells Nigerians in India. And this says, seated home, our engagement with Nnamdi Kanu yielding result. That's what the reps panel are coming up with.
All right, from the Sun newspaper, we have PEPT. We lost a battle, not a war. Atiku. Also, Nigeria bleeding without true democracy since 1999 or Zekome. Oti urged to end blame game, accept responsibility for sacking Abia workers. I have no regret working against PDP, ABA NDDC chair designate. We can't lower momentum of development in rivers. Fubara are still coming from the Sun newspaper. Tribunals affirm Adiola Ned Nwoko as Ogun Delta senators. Also, Reps Tribunal affirms ex-Abia speaker's defeat. Oyewumi hails Tinubu on judgment. These and a couple of others from the Sun newspaper this morning.
All right, before we take our first break this morning, let's quickly look at this headline from the Daily Post. And this says, concern mounts over family planning rate in Akwa Ibom, other states. And more story says, government orders closure of Osun Poly. And more story here says, terror season. All right, let's look at more stories. There we have PEPT, Kakol states position on Tinubu's victory over Peter Obi. Of course, we have to go on our first break this morning, and we'll be back with more of the review.
FM 94.9.
Connection is very important, especially when it's strong, and you don't realize this until you are cut off. Keep your connection strong at home or on the go with INT'L Home Broadband Internet. Get any of our devices like the 7500 MiFi or the 10,000 router with instant 30 gigabytes or the 20,000 router with instant 100 gigabytes. Hurry to the nearest INT'L shop or visit www.airtel.com.ng/HBB to get started.
INT'L, a reason to imagine.
Orúkọ Jésù ni ìràpadà mi.
Ó tún ti tó àkókò láti tún ṣe ìrìn àjò ẹ̀mí ológo lórílẹ̀‐èdè Israeli tó fi mọ́ orílẹ̀‐èdè Jordani.
Pẹ̀lú ajínrere obìnrin wòlíì Mary Ọláìdé Mama Possibility.
Ó ti wá wọlé wẹ́rẹ́ nípasẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ You Fit Fly.
Pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ Possibility Chapel International.
Òjò iṣẹ́ ìyanu àti ìbùkún ó tún rọ̀ sórí onípòjìpò nínú ìrìn àjò mímọ́ lọ sílẹ̀ Israeli tó fi mọ́ orílẹ̀‐èdè Jordani.
Tó máa wáyé ní ọjọ́ 9 sí ọjọ́ 16 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún tá a wà yìí.
Gbogbo àyè tó Olúwa Elédùmarè ti ṣiṣẹ́ ìyanu nínú Bíbélì láti padà fojú kàn nínú ìrìn àjò yìí bí odò Jọ́dánì, òkè Kapanamon, Násárẹ́tì tàti bí Jésù àti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àyè tá a lè kà tán láti forúkọ sílẹ̀.
Ẹ yọjú sí ọ́fíìsì You Fit Fly,
Success House, 7 Up Road, Olúyọ̀lé Main Estate, Ring Road, Ìbàdàn.
Telephone 0803-405-1675 or 08077774880.
Àkànṣe ìrìn àjò sílẹ̀ mímọ́
pẹ̀lú wòlíì Mary Ọláìdé Mama Possibility.
Tó o bá darapọ̀ wàá yin Ọlọ́run lógo.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the crown princesses of style and spice. They are a course fabulous. They are reality royalty. Meet the Real Housewives of Lagos Season 2. Can you guess who's back? 5 of your favorite housewives return, along with 2 dazzling newcomers. Don't miss this exciting new season. Subscribe from 1,200 Naira Monkey. Sign up now at showmax.com.
Titi, I'm leaving now. Make sure you use this hypo bleach sachet to wash all the clothes, clean the bathroom, mop the floors, and
Mommy, one sachet for all this plenty work?
Yes, sir. Introducing the Hypo Bleach 200 ml bigger sachet. The bigger sachet you've been waiting for. Now you can do more disinfecting, whitening, and cleaning for just 100 Naira.
Bigger 200 ml hypo sachet to do more housework.
CAC Covenant of Mercy presents 72 Hours with God, September edition. 72 Hours with God. It promises to be powerful with diverse miracles, supernatural visitations, and testimonies. This September edition is tagged When I Look More Closely. From Friday 8th to Sunday 10th of September 2023. Friday and Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 noon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Vigil 12 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. WAT. And on Sunday 10th of September, which is the grand finale, we shall be coming together from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Vigil 11 p.m. WAT till dawn. Music ministrations by Evangelist Adela Kumbabayewa, Bidemi Olaba, and Elijah Akintude Olorun Sobe. God's anointed servants will be ministering powerfully. Prophet Taiwo Ojo. For inquiries, please call 0805-027-5779. Connect with us on Facebook at Prophet Taiwo Ojo Live. Please note, there will be free buses from Iwo Road, Ojo, and Challenge. 72 Hours with God, an unforgettable experience. Don't miss it.
tí nine mobile network naija gangan bá jẹ́ ayọ̀ rẹ̀ èrè ńlá ń dúró dè ọ́ nígbàkúgbà tí o bá nílò dátà sí láti wo sinimá tàbí gba oríṣiríṣi àjàbalẹ̀ eré ìdárayá nine mobile wà fún ọ pẹ̀lú 1,500 naira péré wàá jẹ ìgbádùn 8 gigabyte látọ̀dọ̀ nine mobile o tún lè fi 9.5 gigabyte ṣe ìfàjẹ pẹ̀lú 2,000 naira péré àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Darapọ̀ mọ́ nine mobile lónìí tàbí kí o tẹ star 301 hash láti yan dátà olówó pọ́kú tí ó ṣe gbẹ́kẹ̀lé. Nine mobile wà níbí fún ọ wà níbí fún Naija.
160 successful Canadian visas and counting in 2023 alone. We are A3 Immigration and we mean business. A3 Immigration Incorporation is a Canadian-based immigration corporation licensed to help individuals transform Canada into their home sweet home, just as we did for Shalewa.
Hi, my name is Shalewa. Thanks to A3 Immigration, Nova Scotia, Canada is my new home.
Congratulations. Me, this message, congratulations.
With Canada Regulatory Council membership number R707544, A3 Immigration has a wide variety of expertise in all areas related to Canadian immigration. Our sister company, Bigger International Consult, is also available for your work or study needs in the United Kingdom. To get started, call or chat 0913-660-1125, 0913-660-1125, or visit a3immigration.com. A3 Immigration, making Canada your new home.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back to Break It On Papers review here on 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we're moving straight into the paper analysis this morning. My name is Bolabo Moscow.
And I am Olasumbo Yusuf. Good morning.
All right, we already have Professor Oluojedokun standing by for the analysis this morning. Hello, good morning, Prof.
Yes, good morning. Top of the day to you.
Yes. All right, I guess we have to start off this morning. But we didn't have to take the first shot.
Okay, I guess the order of the day in most of the national dailies, Prof, is the judgment of the tribunal. And we have from the Punch newspaper that tribunal judgment, APC lampoons Atiku or B opposition attacks INEC. What is your take as regards the reaction of the judgment of the tribunal by Atiku and Obi, and of course the opposition attacking INEC? Prof.
Well, first and foremost, let's just be clear that there are many of us who feel that this judgment was, well reasoned, but there are some of us who also think that it was very confining, very restrictive, and that it was not necessarily innovative, and that maybe the judgment could have gone further. Having said that, because of that, there are some issues that the opposition may feel or the petitioners may feel need to be resolved. I give an instance. For instance, the court has quite made it clear that the innovations introduced by INEC, innovations in terms of IREV and BVAS, you understand, are discretionary and as far as they're concerned are not essential in the conduct of a free and fair election. And then the question you ask is, why did the government spend over 300 billion in order to get that new technology in place? Why did the officials of the INEC go around saying that those things are non-negotiable, they were the magic bullets, if indeed they were going to be discretionary? But the law is the law. The law says that it is not enshrined in the law. It is a regulation, it's a prescription, it's a guideline of INEC. And as far as the Court of Appeal is concerned, even if it's violated, it doesn't affect the substantial compliance with the electoral laws. Some would argue that maybe we need electoral reform, and maybe we need to look at the whole process again. So I think it's within their right to go to the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court will test some of these arguments. But you and I know who's going to benefit more from this going to court. It's going to be the lawyers at the end of the day, are going to benefit more. We will benefit because we get clarity, but the lawyers, of course, will make their money. Disappointment to many of the young obedients, because I think many of them were thinking that this was going to be overturned. Another thing that I need to say is that when you have tribunals, after the incumbent president, commander-in-chief, has been sworn in, it's very unlikely that any tribunal in anywhere in the world, not just in Nigeria, is going to overturn the election results so declared and say that that person wasn't duly elected. So some of us are arguing, let's have election petitions before concluded, before the actual swearing in, so that at least we don't get an issue of people feeling that it's the instrument of the state that is used to procure justice, as it were. But we are where we are. We have a government for now and for the foreseeable future. And I think this government, because of the fractious nature of its mandate, has to find a way to bring everybody together, to drag everybody together, so that we are all in it together, and we are all in it for the progress of Nigeria as a federation.
Okay, so quickly before I let you go, there's another headline that has to do with this, and it says, apologize to your clients. You didn't do a good job. Pandef tells Obi Atiku's lawyers. Your 2 cents on this before we leave that story.
Well, there were some elementary errors there, and part of it has to do with shortage of time, lack of time. But a lot of it may not even be excusable. You have to remember that 10 out of the weaknesses of Obi, of the 13 weaknesses of Obi, and I think 18 out of the 27 weaknesses of Atiku were rendered inadmissible. In other words, not only were they rendered inadmissible, also the evidence presented was flushed down the drain, as it were. And this is because they were requested under the provisions of the Electoral Act, to front load, in other words, not front load, to bring the, what's it called, their witness statements, we call it witness statements, at the same time, and not later. Paragraph 4, subsection 5 of the first schedule of the Electoral Act says any deposition not filed along with the petition is a nullity. So I think from that point of view, they can argue, yes, that the lawyers could have done better. Of course, not necessarily reform, but they have to ask their lawyers questions that why were such elementary things not sorted, from that point of view. And there were some evidential errors, that the lawyers made. And you have to ask yourself, we have senior advocates of Nigeria. So what exactly is going on from that point of view? But you may also argue that when you face Olanipeku, you understand, he is a master of that area when it comes to election petitions. Then really, all the rest will be second best.
All right, Prof, let's look at Ondo State now. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu is back, and we know that this is the heat of campaign ahead of the next election in the state. It appears to be one of those staggered elections we're going to be having in some states in Nigeria. And now him coming back in the face of what appears to be being in the middle of the campaign itself, and of course getting more relevance, because we do know that instances of anointed candidate also arises when it comes to politics in Nigeria. Now, how much more do we see Akeredolu hit the ground running back? Because from what we saw, obviously he's still recuperating, and he's presently in Ibadan. how much more does he handle state issues? Because we do know that he's very critical when it comes to instances of security, especially in the southwest. What do we make out of his return?
First and foremost, I think we have to thank God that Akeredolu has returned. Obviously, he's still recuperating, there's no doubt about that. But thank God that his medical leave in Germany has come to an end. Akeredolu is a colossal individual, not just colossal in the field of law. You have to remember, was a former NBA president, is a senior advocate of Nigeria, but also even amongst the governors, he was the chairman of the Southwestern governors. Within Ondo State, of course, he is a colossal figure. So, of course, his presence will add some drama, some interesting dimension to the elections that are coming up in Ondo State very soon. But, of course, it's limited because he can't move as much as he would have moved before. But the contacts are still there, his relevance is still there, and of course he's still the governor of Ondo State. And of course comes that with the perquisites of office, the benefits of office, and of course the gravitas of office. So he's relevant, and you underestimate him at your own peril. So of course he's there, and I'm sure he's interested in what happens to him, happens to the state after he has left. So I imagine that, he would be making his views known, even if not in public, but certainly behind the scene.
All right, the next headline I will be taking you on, Prof, this morning is Wike begins mobilization to throw Atiku Tambuwal out of PDP. We have it from a couple of national dailies that Wike is calling on the party's National Working Committee to suspend Atiku, erstwhile Director General of the PDP presidential campaign, Senator Waziri Tambuwal, amongst others from the party. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm just wondering where I'm here, and I'm not trying to be mischievous. I'm wondering whether Wike is still a member of the PDP. Apparently, he's still a member of the PDP. If he goes through the law, if it goes through procedure, yes, then he's entitled, of course, to make his case known. But he has to be very careful so that he doesn't destroy the edifice called PDP. Because if he's from the outside throwing stones, when I mean the outside, even though he's within the PDP, but many people see him as semi-detached.
Yes.
And people will be asking the question, what is his end game? Is his end game a merger of PDP with APC? He should make his position clear. If he's not happy with them, some people would argue that he is the one who's been involved in anti-party activities, supporting the candidates of another political party, and of course, accepting ministerial position without the express approval or implicit approval of his own party. So, some people, when they are caught, before they are caught doing something, what they will do is they will accuse other people so that you won't be able to accuse them. Maybe somebody travels and he doesn't want people to know that he travels. He'll be accusing people that, where have you been? Of course, he's the one who's been away. So one has to really take Wike's action with a pinch of salt. It's probably an act of self-preservation, political self-preservation.
All right, this is a state police command. Now, we're looking at voodooism, or what I call voodoo, within our educational world itself. It's becoming like a trend where you have instances of students being killed and buried. And this is not the first time. And this is coming from Ekiti State. Police arrest 10 over killing of Ekiti Varsity nursing student. Now, if you look at all of this development, it also happened here in Lead City. Yes, where we also have another graduating nursing student who was trying to celebrate her graduation being killed. And now some part of her body were missing. Now, how do we handle Buddhism at this time?
Well, let's distinguish the two. First and foremost, the other one happened within the university premises, 30 meters from the nursing block. That's the Oyaikiti, I think. So that's within the university. The other one, you understand, didn't happen on the university premises at all. But notwithstanding, there are students, they are dying, and in some instances, people claim, at least the one in Ekiti, that eyes were plucked out, from that point of view. You see, first and foremost, I'm really worried that this information is getting to the public domain. I think this is information which should be kept because it enables the police to investigate and find out who actually did it. But when the crucial information is out there, it can impede police investigation. But more importantly, what exactly is going on? What's all these ritualistic killings that we're talking about? I think we've always had rituals in Nigeria, you understand, but not on this scale and not on this dimension. And is it social media? You have to ask the question, is it social media that's popularizing it? Is it all these Nollywood movies? I'm not saying, I'm just asking the question, because all of a sudden we're getting a pandemic, not even an epidemic, a pandemic of all these ritual killings. And you have to ask, is the police going to identify? And when they identify, are they going to prosecute? In Ekiti, we've already had 10 people arrested, but we haven't heard much about what has happened in the battle already. And I think also often, a lot of these people that do this ritualistic killing get away with it. And the impunity is what encourages people, to keep on doing it with the hope that more money will come in. Also, poverty is a factor. As far as there's poverty on the scale that we have, we're going to continue to have it. Are you saying that Nigerians do not live in Britain or in America? They live in those places. But do you hear about these ritualistic killings in those places? No. And the reason why, you understand, is because the poverty levels there are not as exposed or are not on the level of Nigeria. So I hope that the police will get involved and do their job, but I also hope that caution will be applied by young undergraduates. And lastly, we must convey condolences to those who have lost these precious souls.
Yes, before we go on a break this morning, Prof, from the Nigerian Tribune, we have Nigeria lost $46 billion crude oil stolen in 11 years. This is coming from the Speaker, Abbas. And this is not the first time we're hearing about, stolen crude oil, pipeline vandalism. Nigerians want to know, when would all this come to an end?
Well, you have to remember that during the time of Obasanjo, they started all this insurgency in the South, and that's where they started vandalizing pipelines. They've been doing it before, but it was on a scale unimaginable. And of course, through Yaradua, there was some negotiation, and we came up with the amnesty, and that sort of quelled things down for a bit. But now we have a lot of people, not now in the South side, but all over the Southeast and South side, and there's a lot of sabotage. And people would argue that during the administration of Muhammad Buhari, it was exacerbated. The policing were implicated. The policing of it was implicated. I don't mean the police, but the policing, the securities were implicated. And what was happening was that a vast majority of our oil was being stolen. Before it was of a limited level, but all of a sudden it was catapulted to unsustainable levels. And I think part of it must be the compromising of the security forces. It cannot happen on that scale if you don't have the security forces implicated in some sort of way. But I think this government has started. I think the government has tried to rejig the security architecture around that area. And let's hope that that curtails the loss. Because if we continue to lose, then our economy goes down the Swanee. Then, of course, we have all the attendant implications, which we've been experiencing for some time. So I think they need to begin to look at it. And, of course, people need to be sacked. If it's going on and on, then the officers responsible need to be accountable, and that means sacking them. That means retraining other people and putting people in place. It can't be business as usual, as normally happens, even when these things happen.
All right, Prof, we have to take that break. We will go on our second break this morning. We'll be back very shortly.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
While everyone is saying things are getting more expensive, instead, whenever I buy, I get double the amount.
In this Naija, hey, please tell me how.
When you dial *939# to activate and use your smart cash account today, enjoy double your talk time and enjoy 100% airtime bonus instantly whenever you recharge your Airtel line.
Oh, see what I've been missing.
Just dial *939# to enjoy the best deals on Smart Cash, powered by Airtel.
Join the biggest UK universities education fair organized by AHZ Associates, top UK university partners, on September 12th at Carlton Gate Exclusive Hotel, Ibadan, and will avail you up to £5,000 discount on tuition fees. Who is this UK universities education fair for? Graduates looking to enroll for postgraduate studies in the UK, parents looking to send their children to university in the UK, OND and HND holders holders looking to enroll for undergraduate and postgraduate studies in the UK. For more information, contact us via +234 814 419 5954. You can also reach out to us on WhatsApp +234 913 801 5761, or you can send us an email on info.ibadan@ahzassociates.co.uk.
CAC Covenant of Mercy presents 72 Hours with God, September edition. 72 Hours with God. It promises to be powerful with diverse miracles, supernatural visitations, and testimonies. This September edition is tagged When I Look More Closely, from Friday 8th to Sunday 10th of September 2023. Friday and Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 noon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Vigil 12 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. WAT. And on Sunday 10th of September, which is the grand finale, we shall be coming together from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Vigil 11 p.m. WAT till dawn. Music ministrations by Evangelist Adela Kumbabayewa, Bidemi Olaba, and Elijah Akintude Olorun Sobe. God's anointed servants will be ministering powerfully. Prophet Taiwo Ojo. For inquiries, please call 0805-027-5779. Connect with us on Facebook at Prophet Taiwo Ojo Live. Please note, there will be free buses from Iwo Road, Ojo, and Challenge. 72 Hours with God, an unforgettable experience. Don't miss it.
Get ready to experience a whole new level of innovation on the Camon 20 Doodle Edition with its exciting glow-in-the-dark feature. The Camon 20 series and the Camon 20 Doodle Edition comes preloaded with a suite of Google apps. Enjoy more content made for you on YouTube. Get on the golf sports updates and highlights on Google search and lots more. Visit any nearest Techno store to purchase yours now. Techno, stop at nothing.
Titi, I'm leaving now. Make sure you use this hypo bleach sachet to wash all the clothes, clean the bathroom, mop the floors, and
Mommy, one sachet for all this plenty work?
Yes, sir. Introducing the Hypo Bleach 200 ml bigger sachet. The bigger sachet you've been waiting for. Now you can do more disinfecting, whitening, and cleaning for just 100 naira.
Bigger 200 ml hypo sachet to do more housework.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the crown princesses of style and spice. They are a cause fabulous. They are reality royalty. Meet the Real Housewives of Lagos Season 2. Can you guess who's back? 5 of your favorite housewives return, along with 2 dazzling newcomers. Don't miss this exciting new season. Subscribe from 1,200 Naira Monkey. Sign up now at showmax.com.
tí 9 mobile network Naija gangan bá jẹ́ àyò rẹ̀ èrè ńlá ń dúró dè ọ́ nígbàkúgbà tí o bá nílò dátà sí láti wo sinimá tàbí gba oríṣiríṣi àjàbalẹ̀ eré ìdárayá 9 mobile wà fún ọ pẹ̀lú 1,500 naira péré wàá jẹ ìgbádùn 8 gigabyte látọ̀dọ̀ 9 mobile o tún lè fi 9.5 gigabyte ṣe ìfàjẹ pẹ̀lú 2,000 naira péré àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Darapọ̀ mọ́ 9 mobile lónìí tàbí kí o tẹ *301# láti yan dátà olówó pọ́kú tí ó ṣe gbẹ́kẹ̀lé. 9 mobile wà níbí fún ọ, wà níbí fún Naija.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back from that short break. It is still the Break of Dawn Papers review on 32 FM 94.9. I am Olasumbo Yusuf.
All right, the numbers for you to call right about now, open the phone lines and also take your comments on our socials. The numbers are 070-550-949 or 080-97949. For international audience, +234 9062-949. And of course, we are live on our socials on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan, but on Facebook and also on YouTube. All right, we still have Professor Olu Ojedokun doing this review with us this morning. Prof, I wanted us to also look at this. Afenifere tax Tinubu on quick fix to subsidy remover pains. Now, I don't know what the president is going to do because it appears that what we've seen so far has not been quite encouraging in terms of some of the shocks on the fuel subsidy fix like Afenifere is asking for. But then before we go into that, Prof, let's quickly take this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is John Olarewaju.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, artist. Good morning, Professor. On the issue of the judgment, Professor has spoken very well. But my addition is this. I agree with Pandel. I think the lawyers of Labour Party in particular, they are talking about 25%. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that they're supposed to carry that case to the court. In my own opinion, I think if they can even look at some states that have irregularity there, that they can even take it to the court, I think we are better. Look at Kogi State, that they have some irregularity there. Maybe you are better. That's for that one. And I want to talk about what Barrister Onagua said. He said about it is difficult to remove the president once you are swearing. Once we are swearing. So to me, I think the lawyer is right. To me, it's right.
All right.
Because
Thank
I've
you very
never
much,
seen that case in Nigeria that you have removed the sitting president. It's very difficult.
Okay.
I think we need to change our constitution whereby they have to make the verdict before they swear to them. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you so much. That's John Olanwaju from Agbo there. All right, Prof, let's quickly look at this. The Pan-Yoruba Social, Cultural and Political Organization Afenifere charged President Bola Tinubu to suit the pains caused by the withdrawal of CCs today as quickly as possible. Do you see that happening?
Well, it will happen eventually, just that the government has been slow on the uptake. You cannot take these decisions on the spur of the moment without having adequate backup. And the backup was an afterthought, in my view, and that was quite surprising. Through the various states, they've been trying to do some palliative measures, but I think the fundamental decisions that need to be taken, I'm yet to see. The tinkering with the tax system so that people are paying less tax and have more money in their pockets. The tinkering with the VAT, they've done that to a lesser extent, but not to a full extent. They've tried to address the strategic grains reserve. So they're trying their best. It's just that it's not coming together as quickly as possible, from that point of view. And you have to ask yourself that in addressing these measures, are we going to have sustainable palliatives rather than the one-off palliatives that you have this month and next month you continue to suffer in silence?
All right.
So I think the government has to be
Prof,
very
we have a
strategic.
call here. Sorry to butt in. Hello, good morning.
That caller is John Uzon. Thank you.
Good morning, John.
I'm interested in the whole thing. And let me just say, my man, I quite agree with the tribunal. But my own problem has to do with that bill that you said is not compulsory. I don't have anything. All the entire process which I followed on that day, they were correct. But to now say it is discretion after 200 billion for BVAT, and because that millions of Nigerians came down to participate on this election because they believe everything will be transparent. That is my own problem. And for Negorua, let me tell you, he is actually correct. Whether you swear him in or not, the problem is it is difficult. In 1979, Professor, know what I'm saying. We had a president sworn in, the court finished everything 2 days before then. But the truth is for Basania Wulawa, we are final not because we are infallible, we are infallible because we are final. That is the truth in court. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Prof, you can go ahead with your line of thoughts. Hello, Prof. Okay.
Yes, so, I sort of ended it. So I think the government really has to move very quickly and have sustainable palliatives in place. Not just through the states. The states, of course, will do most of it, but the federal government has to lay the background, in terms of the palliatives very quickly. People need to begin to feel it in their pockets through their salaries, through the things that they buy in the markets, and so on and so forth.
All right. We also have some comments on Facebook, and of course, we have this one from Timothy Okori. Says, "Good morning. Denike is not on the show. This is SUMBO&GBOLABO. Corruption is the reason why it's very difficult to overturn presidential election in Nigeria. This doesn't exist in a country so rooted in corruption. I believe this will become history in no distant time." And Omo Bashir Abiola on presidential election petition tribunal. The court verdict is very clear and a welcome development in judiciary system. Alhaji Atiku and Obi has the right to go to Supreme Court, but I can bet there won't be any difference from the verdict given at the tribunal court. Atiku and Obi should please forget the past and work together as a team with Mr. President for the betterment of our dear nations.
And still from Facebook, Omotayo Oluwarotimi Onobamiro says, from all the news about ritual killings in Nigeria, it is evident Nigerians need mind education while kill someone for rituals when you can also ask the idol or the god to give you money. Thank you very much. Raji Hafiz.
All right, we have this one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
My name is Malam Rufai. I'm calling from Iroko.
Welcome. Let's have your thoughts.
In fact, it is very difficult to remove the sitting government, as rightly said by John Olanwaju. But my own thinking is that our leaders should please renew our hope. They should renew our hope in the extent that people are suffering too much. People have to walk halfway before they can get to their destination. So because of this, I want the government to please renew our hope and give us much hope that we are expecting from them. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Malam Rufai.
All right, I guess you wanted to take this from Facebook. That's
yes. Raji Hafiz says, good morning, Bolabo and Sumbo. About rejection of Presidential Tribunal judgment by both Obi and Atiku. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong in challenging this verdict in the Supreme Court, in as much as it is part of a process. But these people should not expect anything different from what they have had at Court of Appeal. What they need to do now is to observe where they got it wrong in the last election and make the necessary corrections and prepare for the next election. This has gone. God bless Nigeria.
All right, the numbers again are still 070-55,949 and also 080-97949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Olufemi from Oyo.
All right, please go
I
ahead.
want us to know one thing, that one, it become impossible to remove a sitting president, what I've been saying, because you cannot buy the finger that is feeding you. The president or these people appointed the CJN, they can't rule against them. The thing is to go back to 1960 independent constitution, whereby we have, existence of Judicial Service Commission that will be free of executive. And secondly, we just have to remember that if somebody now became a president with only 8 million votes out of 250 something million, you know that people don't have interest. There is what we call political party. Because people know that they will announce the people, there is somebody that only wanted to be there, not that the masses votes are counting. And that is what they are doing. And the one that is not elected will not be announced and they say, let's go to court. And they are the one that is determining what is happening in court. God help Nigeria.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Right. Thank you for that. We have Honorable Akin Kumi Camille, the caller, on Facebook, and he's saying it's not about removing sitting president. It's about what petitions and evidences presented by the opposition to the court. Obi and his obedient group presented a watery petition. And of course, it's our last call for the day before we call it today on the program. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Kile Balari from Lancashire Borough. I just want to comment on the student character to speak up as House of Assembly.
Please go ahead quickly.
House of Executive, sorry. They said that about 60.2 billion was lost to good theft in Nigeria. This is too much. How can the nation develop when we lost about 16.2 billion naira in 11 years? Then we have a security. If our convenience security does not work, how can we deploy a technology to man our pipeline? Because this is too much.
All right.
On the issue of hello.
Sorry, we have to go. And Prof, any last word from you as we leave the studios this morning?
No, let's just make the point clear. We are not saying that sitting presidents cannot be removed by tribunal. We are saying that it is much more difficult, even if you have the best of petitions, and the reasons are clear. So first and foremost, if you want to remove a sitting president, have a good petition. If you don't have a good petition, then you're making your job very, very difficult.
All right, on that note, we must say a big thank you to Professor Lord Jedokun for doing this with us this morning. To all our callers and those viewers, we also say a big thank you and those who listen to us. My name is Bolabo, famous call.
And I am Olasumbo Yusuf. Good morning.
And the Smart Kids Show is up next.